So we're going to do the tomato sauce. So first, as you know, like everything else, you need to have the mise en place. So I have the diced onions. I got the basil here. I got some fresh thyme, some oregano. You don't have to have the oregano if you want. I'm going to use a couple of bay leaves. I got some garlic I need to chop. Some salt, Himalayan salt. You don't have to. You can use a kosher salt. And sugar, just a little tiny spoon of sugar. Of course, you gotta have olive oil and more basil if needed. And then the most important thing are the tomatoes. So I went ahead a little bit and I cored my tomatoes and I cut them a little bit because we're gonna boil them. I'm gonna show you how to do that. So I'm gonna take one tomato and just cut it for you and show you what I'm talking about. So you take like a paring knife and you just take the part off, like so, and just make a little insert here. Voila, that's all we did. So then you gotta have the water getting hot. So I got my water getting hot. The trick here is to add a little salt and cover it up. And then I need to get my, while the water is getting hot, I'm going to get my garlic chopped. So the garlic is the same thing. So the trick is many people have different ways to, I just go with the knife like that, take the peel off, and here we go, get the garlic. So we're going to chop this up a little bit. Get your knife. Okay, and then we're going to do like, just cut it off and chop it off. Now the thing is, I'm going to blend this whole thing so it doesn't have to be perfectly chopped. I just need it for flavor because it's going to be in the sauce. It's going to be pureed. We're going to make like some kind of tomato puree. So it's like a little sauce. So I got my garlic rough chopped. And then we're going to add all the other ingredients as we go. Get rid of your stuff you don't need. Also have some ice here and some water because we're going to blanch the tomatoes. Blanching is taking vegetables, put them in boiling water for like a few seconds, taking them and shock them in ice water. When we do this with the tomatoes, what's going to happen is this is going to peel. It's going to be so easy to peel it. We don't want to peel it and we don't want to cut it off halfway and get those seeds out. So this is boiling now a little bit. It's getting it right there. So I'm going to take my tomatoes like so. Clean up a little bit. Always clean as you go. I don't need this knife anymore. Put it away. I don't need this knife. Now I diced the onions already. If you want to know how to dice them, please go to my vegetable cutting. It's the Knife Skills, one of the shows I did a couple of days ago. And you're going to learn how to dice the onions. Okay, now I'm going to add the tomatoes to my boiling water. This is an easy recipe. Now the tomato sauce is one of my favorite mother sauces. It's also called sauce espagnole. We don't have to cover it now. Let's put this up. We want it to boil. And then we're gonna put a bowl here, put some ice. Blanching. And then we're going to add some chilled water. You don't want hot water in there. You don't want your ice to melt. And end, you're gonna cook you're gonna take a look at your tomatoes, and you can see when they start peeling. They're not start peeling yet. Okay. So I made some vegetables bouillon or stock that we're gonna add to the tomatoes. When we peel the tomatoes, we're gonna seed them out. Then we're gonna throw some onions here with some garlic, saute them, add the tomatoes, let it cook until it almost melts with the bouillon, and then we're gonna blend it. Use a blender, or we can use any other method to kind of blend it. You can use a ricer, or you can use any other thing you have, any tool you like, burr mixer or anything else. Okay, so this is looking good. I can see now that you see the skin is kind of peeling off a little bit. That's what we want. Let it cook a little bit more. And that's the sauces are very important to know. This is like kind of following the curriculum of cooking school. You need to know the basic things first, like knife skills, how to make the sauces, how to fabricate the meats, and then the cooking. Once in a while I throw some kind of cooking in my channels, so you get to see a little bit something interesting. So today we're also going to do some kind of how to show the fish cutting, breaking down salmon, things like that. Okay, so now this is good. We don't want to cook this too much, so I put in ice. So look at, see, that's what you're looking for. The skin is coming off. Let's put on the ice. Beautiful. I learned this sauce actually when I was a student in France. I learned it from one of the chefs I used to work for after school to make a little extra money when I went to engineering school in France. Okay, here we go. Now I don't need this boiling water. Let me just get rid of it. Okay, I'm gonna get my sauce pan. While that's getting cold, I'm gonna start caramelizing my onions. Always wait for your pan to get hot. Okay, so what we want to do is just take the skin off, like so. And let's put it in a different bowl. See how it's coming so easy? Now make sure you wash your hands before you do this, and of course this is going to be cooked, so it's not going to be served right away, so it's going to be cooked more. So of course when you do this at work, or you do it for other people, you do want to make sure you use gloves. And this is just for you to see the steps in making it, and how easy it is to make this sauce. Now my pan is getting hot. I'm going to start cooking my onions here. I want to caramelize the onions a little bit, because every time you caramelize the onions, you get the good flavor. You get a little sweetness coming out of it. You don't have to add too much sugar. I really don't like to add sugar anyway to my tomato sauce. I'm just going to add a pinch so to release the flavor. Okay, see? It's a beautiful day today. It's a perfect day to do some kind of cooking outside. And here we go, one last one. The neighbors are playing some beautiful music, and some other ones are fixing things. So the two kind of music's going on. That's life in the weekend in the suburbs of Washington. Okay, so let's start cooking our onions. So again, I like to cook onion first before cooking the garlic. I don't like cooking the garlic first because it's easy to burn. Now I don't need this anymore. I clean it up. I have my tomatoes going on. So now we gotta take the seeds out. So basically what we're gonna do is just cut the tomatoes in half. And squeeze this out. So we'll just use these. Now this is the way I learned how to do it, and I love it. Some people don't even see the tomatoes out. They don't even peel it. They just use the canned tomatoes. That's different. It's up to them. It's up to you. So again, I just want to show you really good way to do it, because this has a lot of flavor and you don't have all the bitterness from these seeds. Une bonne sauce de tomate, c'est bien. C'est mieux que une sauce de tomate déjà faite, already made. So, and God knows how much chemicals they put in those canned tomatoes. So these are fresh. This is a good season for the tomatoes. I mean, you can put in your backyard if you find some. There we go. And let's not forget to stir my onions. So we're doing good. To put this in a proper pan. So it's messy, but that's why you gotta wear something to make sure you don't get your clothes all dirty. Now again, this is like basic cooking. Basic means I'm just going slowly with mostly those people that want to become a cooks. Basic cooking, learning how to do. Always have something to clean with. Now you can hear the sound. It's cooking. Beautiful. Now the good thing about having a good tomato sauce like this, you can actually, from this, you can make a nice tomato soup. Just add a lot more basil, add some cream, and you can make some tomato concasse to garnish it with, and you're good to go. Tomato concasse is basically small diced tomato. You take these tomatoes already done, like so, and you make, it's going to be small. You turn them around like that. So these are the two concasse. This you can put in nice consommé, nice garnish. You can also make a beautiful julienne of the tomatoes. You can just take these tomatoes, put them in a cheesecloth, let them drain all that, little salt, let them drain all that juice, and that's beautiful juice you can use, and you can leave it with some cornstarch, or just serve it like that. It's beautiful. I see. We'll make it like serve it as a consommé with the tomatoes. I've seen many ways of doing it. So my onions are a little bit sweaty here. Now I add my garlic. I don't want too much garlic because you don't want it to overpowering. That's plenty. Just like 3 small chopped or rough chopped like I did. Okay, the garlic is in. I like to cook my herbs with it as well. I get some fresh thyme here. This is actually from my backyard. Things you do when you are confined due to the coronavirus is unbelievable. You do more than normal. Cook, you grow vegetables, you fix things in the house, and etc. Okay, now we get in there. Just a pinch of salt to get that flavor going. Alright, now I'm going to add my tomatoes. It's talking to me. It's saying that I'm happy. I like that. So, the tomatoes are cooking. I don't want to add any stock yet. You can break them with a spoon. I like to cook them a little bit until they're soft and add the stock. So let me just cover them up a little bit. And we'll finish in a couple minutes. Okay, so let's check our tomatoes now. Let's see how it's going. You can see it's bubbling inside here. You get the steam coming, and also I get like the tomatoes. They're already getting chunky here. Kind of, you can see the juice coming out of them. Beautiful juice. So you really don't need too much liquid added to this, but we're gonna add the nice vegetable stock we talked about. Like a cup or so for this. That's all you need. Now the recipe is going to be in the bottom of my of this video to show you how much, because not everybody knows the measures. Now let's not forget to add bay leaf. I think for this I just need 1 bay and a half, maybe it's not even too much. A little bay leaf here to get the flavor, and I'm going to let this simmer for a little bit. Then we're going to put in the blender. And we're going to have a nice, beautiful tomato sauce. And of course we got to season it. You got to make sure you don't forget that. A little pepper. We need a lot of salt. Pinch of sugar. I can add a little pinch, just a little sugar like that. That's all you need for this. That's plenty. The way it's done, so that means this needs to be, again add the peppercorn and a little basil at the end. We garnish. The good thing with this kind of tomato, when you do it like that, peel the skin off, seeds off, you can actually use it like bruschetta. You can have some toasted bread, put it on top, and then just put a little chunk of this on top, a little cheese, good cheese or favorite cheese. You can have it as an appetizer. This is good stuff. This is a really nice stuff happening here. A lot of flavor. So let it simmer, let it cook a little bit. Now, as you can see, my tomato is really good in there, my tomato sauce. I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit and then check it up a little bit. This is beautiful. Now, the one thing we do, I don't like to cook it all the way, because the reason why, if I need it now, yes, because you're gonna reheat it. When you're gonna reheat it, you're gonna cook it more. So I'll make sure I take the bay leaves out. We don't need those. That's it. We get a lot of flavor. I'm gonna add the basil. I love basil, so it's gonna have a lot of flavor. Some oregano. Oh boy, I can just see this. This on a pasta dish. Oh my God. Or make some lasagna with this, or even some pizza. You can make a little just flatbread pizza home. Very easy. Mix this in all together. This is happy. I'm gonna add a little salt. Then we're gonna taste it after and see a little pepper. Now, lots of love. This is coming like a good, beautiful tableau, or you know, like a painting. All together, all the harmonies and all the flavors. So now we got all our flavors in. The trick I do here, I put the stuff here. That means I still need to add this to that. So now they're done. I'm looking at my cutting board. I don't have anything anymore to add. This was just a little example. And you clean as you go always. So now we're gonna go and do something very interesting. There's many ways to puree or blend or your tomato sauce. The more fine it is, it's like I think it's a pomodoro, and then marinara is like it's more chunky, or the other way around. I forgot. Anyway, it's one of those. So it's all depend what you need to use it for. Me, I just want it to be like a rough chop. It doesn't have to be all nice and smooth. So there's a way you can do that. You can use a nice, here we go, little bowl mixer. Again, remember, this is going to be cooked more. See, this here, it's like fresh because the tomatoes are nice, fresh. This is the season. This is not the canned stuff. Look at that. So easy to make. You got the basil, garlic, thyme, oregano, salt, pepper. You got a lot of flavor in there. Now, that's one way to do it. And then I just want to show you. Oh, it's jumping. So, chunky like that. Just in the head. Or you can do like So this is beautiful for me. You can do this in whatever you want. Oh, then you can do this as well. You can take a little bit of and put it in the blender. Like in the blender, like so, and pulse it. Then you get tomato sauce all over the place. That's what it is. The sauces that are messy. When you make sauces, you don't want to be wearing like a nice shirt and expect this to be like a perfect thing. All right, so we got that. So now in the blender, you got to be very careful. You always got to cover this up. Plus, you want to cover it up with a towel because you may spread it all over the place. You can pulse like that. You can blend. Different speeds. You can chop it. Now this can be used as a beautiful soup. Let's see, consistency. Besides just the sauce, you can add a little cream and use it as a pink sauce, or you add other items. Now you see the difference here. This is more emulsified than the other one. Now you can also take a little bit of this. I will take some cream and get it hot. So I just want to show you there's so many ways you can take your sauce and finish it to where you want. Depend what you're going to use it for. Is it for the pizza? Is it for a soup? Is it just tomato? You know, you can do this like a couple of weeks ahead, a week maximum. So it's like if you have a guest, for instance, coming in a couple of days, you don't know what to do, you like going a little bit like crazy and trying to figure out how to get things done. You can make your sauces ahead. That's the best thing to do. Make your sauces always ahead, or always have a batch of sauces done. So then you don't have to go crazy a little bit. Like I said, you can take a chunk of tomato like this and put it in make a pizza with it, or flatbread, or you can put a little small toasted bread, add some cheese, some basil, and you're good. Voila, you have an appetizer. Or you can use it even as a dip. You can add other things like I'm going to do right now. I put a little heavy cream in there. It was a little bit cooked. I'm just heating it up a little bit. And then you can add some tomatoes to it and make an interesting mix. Of course, you can add more seasoning if you want. So now we have that. Almost like making a beurre blanc, I mean without the butter, derived from tomato sauce. You mix it a little bit more, so you're creating an emulsion. reduce a little bit, and then you can serve it as a beautiful sauce. This can be like a nice sauce for fish, for shrimp, for whatever you want, chicken, or even you can make a, just add more basil and it can be tomato basil sauce. So from one sauce you can do a lot of other sauces. Soup or soups, you can do a soup, you can do chunky tomato sauce, you can do puree tomato, you can do a nice creamy tomato basil sauce. There is endless creation, and that's what's beautiful about cooking. And cooking is like there's no limit of creating things. And then what I do in my cooking, I don't add cheating, I call it. Like I can add slurry to this. Slurry is like a mixture of cornstarch with water, and add it to this. It will thicken a little bit quickly, and then make it a sauce. I like my sauce to go naturally down, reduce, and became like a nicely thicked, so it's gluten-free. So I really don't want to add in a roux or anything like that. So most of the items I do, there's really no need for anything else beside the food you see here and reduce. It's natural, there's no chemicals, there's no stuff. So this is going to be a perfect, beautiful stuff when it reduces, and then you can just use it for whatever you want. It will reduce eventually in a few minutes, and then it will be a nappe. And that's all we have today. So we will see you next time when we do other sauces, and hopefully we'll finish the mother sauces and we'll go over them, and we'll continue our meat fabrications, and I will see you then. Now we spoke about the reducing the sauce. Now look at it, it's reduced. I'm going to strain it. I just take some strainer. It's good to have a nice, beautiful chinois, but I don't have it. Just one thing I want to show you. When you strain the sauce and it gets stucky, you do like this. If it's all over, it doesn't go through, you go like this. It helps get all of the liquid out. Using it. Now let's test this up and see how it is. So this can be a beautiful sauce. You can strain it through a finer chinois or things like that. Again, you can use it for a lot of stuff.